Let's return now to a story Checkpoint has covered at length. Fire safety issues at the Skywell building in the middle of Auckland's Queen Street between Aotearoa Square and the iconic Civic Theatre. At the beginning of November, Checkpoint revealed James Kwak's entertainment centre hadn't had a warrant of fitness for 435 days because of fire safety issues. 435 days. That was the beginning of November. He's still yet to be fined or prosecuted by Auckland Council, despite the council labelling him frustrating and the least responsive business owner in Auckland. Tonight we can reveal his building still does not have a warrant of fitness, so that's 478 days now, operating without one. Checkpoint understands delays were in part caused by a struggle to get private fire compliance companies to do work on the building. Argus and First Fire, two of Auckland's biggest, both won't go in part because of historical payment problems. And as Zac Fleming explains, it's not just money that's been lost.
Skyworld Indoor Entertainment. These signs decorate the outside of the 6-storey complex, making sure you know where you are. Made in April 2015, they cost more than $50,000, but they still haven't been fully paid for.
Got paid in September 2015, part of it. Then we got paid a little bit in March 2016, then a little bit in June 2017. And the June 2017 payment was after we went to court. And that's the one that's still currently being fought about.
So 2.5 years and you still haven't been paid in full?
Yeah, that's right.
Neil Shah, Managing Director of Riley Signs, one of New Zealand's leading signwriting companies. They made the giant neon sign for the former Vector Arena. I asked him to rank his contract with James Kwak against every client he's had since he joined Riley in 2004.
Right at the very, very bottom.
So this is the worst client you've ever had in 13 years?
Yes.
Skyworld's capital value is $42 million. Inside is a bowling alley, mini-golf, games arcade, mirror maze, food court and multiple movie theatres. More than 2 million people visit each year. Checkpoint knows of at least 6 companies who have gone to court to try and get paid for work done on Skyworld. One dispute alone was worth more than $100,000. Calvin Clapperton worked as a project manager for James Kwak for a year. He's helped 3 companies try and recover disputed bills.
It's commonly known that he doesn't pay his bills.
Checkpoint asked Mr Kwak through his representative for the total dollar value of bills being disputed. They did not respond.
With James, you get the feeling that he's got the cash. It's just you have to be the squeakiest wheel to get paid, which is, I think, my understanding of how you get paid.
Would you do work for him again?
No.
A fire compliance contractor currently helping James Kwak get Skyworld a warrant of fitness demanded payment up front before doing any work. Today is the 478th day Skyworld has been open without a warrant of fitness. Auckland Council has described James Kwak as disengaged and unresponsive, but it still can't say whether it wants to prosecute him. It's instead given him until the end of today to achieve full compliance with Skyworld. But it can't say what will happen if he fails to meet that deadline, as he's done with every deadline for the past year. A representative of Mr Kwak said in a statement the reason Riley Signs hasn't been paid in full is because their work was flawed and there were defects which have not been repaired, and that Mr Shah did not show up to a meeting to resolve the matter face to face. Neil Shah says the work was not defective. The statement continued that Mr Kwak makes continuous contributions to society and makes payments as per contractual agreements. Checkpoint has tried to contact James Kwak more than a dozen times, both for this story and for our other stories about Skyworld. We've sent him emails directly, we've left messages with his staff, both in person and over the phone. We've even sent a letter to his home in Albany, but he has never replied. We even ran into him in person once, but he pretended to be somebody else.
Why you ask me?
I'm Zac Fleming from Radio New Zealand, is it?
I have James. No? No? I'm just in a visiting there.
Then, earlier this week, through a representative, he finally agreed to an interview. But the morning of, that representative emailed revoking that offer, saying James Kwak was too busy, though he did have enough time to send me a personally signed Christmas card. There are people that will never be paid, because they can't be. Simon Squire's friend and business partner Bryce died in March last year.
He was a nice guy, a really nice guy. And yeah, so we're good friends.
The pair did interior shop fit-outs together for 5 years. Bryce designed, Simon built.
Early November, late October, early November, he said to me that there was this IMAX job and that it was going to be slowly redeveloped the whole food court area. And I thought that's a good opportunity to get your name out there and be visible.
Simon says James Quack was a really tricky client. A March 4th, 2016 letter from lawyers acting for Bryce's company, Iconoclast Concepts, to J&J Holdings, James Quack's company, alleged a failure to pay contractors meant it was difficult to get them back on site.
The reason why the whole project wasn't going ahead was the non-payment on part of the J&J management that was not paying the contractors, the flooring guy or the ceiling guys or the building work or the extractor system. All that was delaying the whole process, and they were blaming it all fair square on Bryce, but the payments weren't coming through, and so nobody was finishing their job.
In a statement, James Quack's representative disputed that, saying it was Bryce who failed to carry out the works he was hired to do as a project manager, causing substantial losses. The disputed amount Bryce was asking for was $5,328.
Yeah, that's how ridiculous, how much absurd it is. I mean, Bryce was stressing out big time, and he said to me in those days, he said, I wish I never took on this contract.
A letter by Bryce's doctor, William Rainick, dated March the 3rd, the day before the lawyer's letter, reads,
"This is to confirm that I have been treating Bryce since October 2016 for anxiety disorder brought on by work-related stress. His condition has gradually deteriorated over the ensuing months, and he is now finding it increasingly difficult to deal with the demands and responsibilities of his position as a project manager. I have advised him to terminate his contract due to the detrimental effect it is having on his health. Yours sincerely, Dr. William Rainick."
Dr. Rainick wouldn't comment for this story, but he confirmed to Checkpoint he wrote that letter. Bryce didn't heed his advice. He died later that month. Bryce's ex-wife, Sue, emailed Mr. Quack's lawyer 4 months later in July 2016 to ask what was happening with the outstanding bill. Mr. Quack's lawyer never replied. Simon Squire says he also tried to chase money from James Quack.
I couldn't get hold of him. He's a ghost. I waited outside his house for hours on end, in front of his office at the 6th floor in a turret, as it seems like. You can't see him. You can't find him.
So he gave up. He says a big reason is because he believes New Zealand's laws are too lax. After spending more than 20 years working in Italy, he says in New Zealand it's comparatively too hard to chase unpaid contracts.
The smart guys, the shrewd guys that come from a tough environment are a lot smarter than us because we haven't grown up in a tough environment. So they come from a reality where you have to be like that in order to survive. And I think that is the main problem.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Mr. Quack said Mr. Squire didn't use the right type of finish on a piece of furniture, so 10% of the bill was withheld. Neil Shah is close to giving up. He says he's spent at least 60 hours chasing money from James Quack.
This is the thing. It is now on my too hard list, right? It's almost, there's other money that's easier to get, so I put it off indefinitely, which is usually what happens with clients like this.
He says he's currently considering his legal options.
Because it shouldn't be this way. When you do work, normally we always get paid.
For Checkpoint, Zac Fleming.
So what does Auckland Council say in response to Zac's story? Well, it was unable to say whether or not James Quack has met its deadline of today to get Skyworld fully compliant. We asked if it's happy with penalties given to building owners. Director of Regulatory Services Penny Purrett sent us a statement saying Auckland Council would welcome penalties in these instances being increased with the aim of encouraging building owners to comply with their responsibilities under the Building Act. Ultimately, this is out of our hands, and one of the reasons why we always seek to resolve these matters outside of the court process.